Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Bolt Banter. This is Curtis Geffram, and we're talking Chargers today as we roll into our first game of the season. And here's Kendrick. Kendrick.
What's up, San Diego? Bolt up. For our previous show, thought I'd rock the Weddle beard for a little bit. Hashtag sign Weddle.
Hashtag sign
So where do we
Weddle.
want to get started today? Do we want to get started with the injury report?
Let's go straight to the injury report and talk about Ladarius Green, who suffered concussion this week, a couple of days ago. And immediately following, Mr. Phillips was re-signed on the Bolts, our boy. They spent a lot of time talking about.
Yeah, man, it was good to see. He was out there. We needed some well-known depth. We went and talked to John Phillips and got him out there.
Yeah.
If we were gonna be without Gates and Ladarius Green, we should have John Phillips out there. It's good to see if we can bring him back.
Definitely. And then,
today we're hearing reports that he practiced and he ran some routes, and so hopefully if he passes the concussion protocol, then we could see him on Sunday.
Yeah, that'd be great. And it's kind of interesting how so quickly after suffering concussion, he's already back. I didn't know if he'd be back for a while or what, but maybe he's doing just okay.
Yeah, it must have been pretty minor if he's doing it today, because usually what they would do is they'd run him through another test yesterday, and if he was doing really bad, then they'd test him again today. But he must have passed protocol yesterday to be running around a little bit so they can assess him today after practice.
Yeah, and then maybe we can move on from that and to other news. Our Raiders, our rivals in the AFC West, signed Alvin Smith, and everyone and their mom in the Raider Nation freaked out.
Yeah,
everyone.
You got to be realistic here for a second. This guy last month got a DUI. The NFL's probably going to suspend him. Last year he was suspended for 9 games. So say around in that market, say he gets suspended for around 7 to 10 games. Are you really going to be tripping when you're 2-8, 10 games into the season? Yeah, that's great and all that. And you can tell me how, oh man, we have Justin Tuck also, Justin Tuck. Justin Tuck's old. He's sitting on that fat Raiders cash. And you can put him next tape. You want to put him next Khalil Mack and all that, but does Aldon Smith still have it? With all his troubles, with all his issues, that's unproven. Because when he was in San Francisco last year after he came back from suspension, we didn't hear about him.
Nope.
He was out there with Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis. I think it's much ado about nothing. I think good for Raiders fans. They're going to get excited about it, but let's be realistic here for a second. We don't know how this guy plays because of his off-field issues and how that affects him. You gotta be thinking about this.
Yeah. I know he fits the Raiders well in being gnarly.
Yeah.
And having trouble.
Everyone jokes about how Raiders players are all prison riot players, but there's one guy who could find himself on one wrong end after one big mistake. So, I mean, hopefully their organization and Jack Del Rio, they take him under the wing and they get him on the right track. But yeah, man, whatever. He's a Raider.
Whatever, Raiders. All right. And then today was the date for the San Diego Chargers stadium deadline, basically, for negotiating or settling an agreement for an election. And I think, wasn't it in the middle of this day on Friday, September 11th, that was the deadline? I forget what time it was, but it was sometime today.
Yeah, I think it was around 2 o'clock Pacific where we'd be hearing stuff. They're probably, if they are meeting, they'd be meeting right now. I highly doubt it. Because
Wouldn't that be a
to be honest with you,
surprise?
we talked about how this would affect This is supposed to affect like the NFL's agreement on an LA team moving, and we haven't heard anything on that front either. So I doubt we're going to hear anything today.
We haven't heard much from the NFL on relocation.
Yeah, it's honestly disappointing. Like I really did think that we were going to hear something from this deadline, that this was actually going to mean something, and it means nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely. I don't know.
And it sucks because, Mayor Falconer and his team spent a lot of hard work in trying to get something done. But I guess if it's not now, it could be later. But still, it's a little frustrating to see it kind of go to waste here as this deadline approaches, because they were shooting for that election in January, but didn't work out. Alrighty, and so on to the next subject. Let's talk about injury report as we roll into this game against just football fans and San Diego Charger fans on how this game is going to be a pretty tight, even matchup. Now, on the Chargers side, Tariq Williams, Troutman, and I think Major. Is it Major or Magger?
I think it's Major.
Major, okay. Major and Atachu have had kind of just been banged up, but I think they're still playing. They're just a little roughed up. And then Green, we just talked about the concussion. And then from the Lions, DeAndre Levi, the linebacker, that's been a big thing that a lot of people have been talking about because he's a big part of their team. I think he had a hip injury going on. And Karan Reed, defensive tackle on Detroit, on their injury report, and Larry Walford, their guard, Eric Ebron, their tight end, and Waddle, close to Weddle, their tackle, and then Whitehead, their linebacker. Are they just trying to have people with similar names to us? Woodhead. Waddle.
Whitehead tackles Woodhead on the third down.
And Waddle blocks Weddle, and Weddle gets by Waddle.
And Weddle's can get past Waddle on the block there, stop the run play.
But
I think the biggest ones there, as far as the Lions goes, is Levy, because he's their big linebacker, but then also Eric Ebron, because that kind of minimizes what the Lions can do on offense, which I think is a big factor that we'll get into as we talk about this game.
Was Reed, their defensive tackle, was he starting? I don't recall.
I don't think so. I think he's a third stringer.
Okay.
I think Nick Fairley's one of their big guys, and then they got a younger guy in there.
Alrighty. And maybe we can talk about just kind of Chargers' offense versus their defense, and their offense versus our defense. So going into this, the Lions have a lot of weapons on offense. And honestly, that's my main concern for this game. We've seen very promising glimpses of our defense in preseason and just hearing them from coaches, but this will be a big test right out of the gate to see where our defense lands in a lot of areas. So on offense, we have Mr. Stafford, Matthew Stafford, and then I believe it's Joe Bell, right? That's how you pronounce his first name.
Jockey Bell.
But
the big guy coming out of that backfield is going to be Amir Abdullah, another rookie out of the draft. That guy's fire. He'll start for this team later on in the season. Amir Abdullah is a very, very good running back. I think this is
Abdullah.
If there's going to be any danger to this game, it's Amir Abdullah coming out lighting it up. It's very possible, and it's very scary.
And then on receivers, we have Golden Tate and Megatron, which is a little scary too. And more at wide receiver. So they have some weapons.
You got Golden Tate. You got Golden Tate on the other side. So you got Megatron and Starscream out there. And then like the other big threat is Eric Ebron coming down the middle. So
Yep.
like you gotta be very wary with this team. They got on the as far as their O line goes, they got former Bronco Manny Ramirez right there holding down the middle. So some Charger fans will know him well. He's a pretty good pass blocker.
And one of their guards for Detroit is Laken Tomlinson, another LT in San Diego.
It's funny.
What's up with all these names?
Oh yeah, I remember this guy when he got drafted. He was talking about how even if it was this year in the draft actually. He was talking about even if like he didn't make the team and all that, he was going to take whatever in his contract and put it into schools in Jamaica. That's where he's from. Yeah, I remember that from the draft. That's pretty cool. I think the biggest thing for me, as far as our defense against their offense, is Calvin Johnson's going to get his, and Stafford's going to be thrown to him. So just notch one touchdown on there for them. Golden Tate is kind of iffy when Megatron's on the field. So let's say Verrett shuts him down. Now let's say Eric Ebron plays. You got Teo watching him. You got Adai watching him, depending on where he's going. He gets a little bit moving down the field. So basically right there, the key to the game is how you're going to stop their run. Jackley Bell coming up the tackles. He can break a few. He can break them off. So it's going to be all about how we attack him as far as Legit and Lismore, Emmanuel coming in, Atauchu, Ingram. How are we going to stop that run? But then, like I really think that Amir Abdullah could really be the best running back out of the draft. Like, I really think that this guy could end up having a better season than Melvin Gordon because he's very good. He's a very talented running back. And this was a guy where in some mock drafts for the Chargers, they had them taking Malcolm Brown, who's on the Patriots now, taking Malcolm Brown, so we got a defensive tackle, and then taking Amir Abdullah in the third round. I think John Quintera from 1090 really liked him a lot.
Gotcha.
So the big duel. So, that's the key for the defense, I think, right there. Like, Megatron's obviously going to get his. But, if you can stop that two-headed monster right there in the backfield, I think you contain them enough to where, let's give them 17 points on offense, I say. Let's say the Lions score 17 points. They get a rushing touchdown. Megatron gets a touchdown, a field goal in there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I think that we haven't seen much in preseason yet of our run defense having a test, but I have confidence in our linebackers. I really have been impressed by them. So, and Teo, from what I hear, is going to play. He's not having any issues. Butler's in. I just want to see more of Emmanuel because he's a beast, but that's a different discussion. Yeah, I think our linebacker core right now is pretty solid. They seem to know how to get the job done, and I'm really excited for our D-line as well. And I think they got to be careful because in the past, our Achilles. So, like you're saying, those guys, the receiving core are going to get out there, but because they're so talented in running and passing weapons, we got to be ready for everything. And I think the real factor in it is going to be, I think you mentioned it too, is going to be Reyes and Legit getting up in there and stopping it from the beginning, closing holes and causing mayhem.
Yeah, we have a chance here for it to be absolutely lethal on the front end, having whether it's Reyes, Legit, or Emmanuel coming in, and then on the second level having Ingram and Atauchu follow them in. You get those guys, you stop the running back from there, and then they come in and they close it up. That's consistency that we can keep going.
Yep.
A lot of people are talking about Melvin Ingram.
A lot of people.
Watch for him to put a big hit on Abdullah and just pop that football out.
And I believe
Predict that one right there.
someone was
Melvin
talking
Ingram gets
about,
Jacque Bell or Amir Abdullah to fumble one here.
and I was looking at Jacque Bell seems to be coming off some kind of hamstring, not really an injury, but just he's a little beaten up, a little sore.
Yeah, he's got a little hamstring tightness. He missed a lot of the preseason.
So that's a
probably something to
factor
watch.
into it as well, but we'll probably see maybe not him at 100%, but close to it or near it. And then let's talk about our offense going up against their defense. So our offense, we got a new kind of arrangement of O-line, if you will. And which I really like the situations we have going on for O-line. I think the mix they have is great, and honestly, I love that we got Franklin in the offseason. Like, love that. And I look at our O-line, and I don't see like a weak spot or like a question mark. I don't know about you, but I don't see any hesitation there. And then Keenan and Floyd, obviously. And we'll see if our boy Stevie Johnson can do something. And we'll have Ladarius Green out there with Phillips. Or maybe we'll have Ladarius Green. We don't really know. But I think we might. And then Rivers and Oliver, Gordon, Woodhead, that rotation. And going up against their defense, I don't know what to think about their defense right now because they did lose Sue, and I don't know if that was a big, like, their main driving force of their defense, but they still have some decent players hanging around on their D.
Yeah, like they replaced. They lost Ndamukong Suh and Nick Fairley. They replaced them with Haloti Ngata. They still got Ziggy Ansah out there coming off the edge, but that's it. That's all this defense is. And we have an O-line that's solid enough from the center going out. Chris Watt, DJ Fluker, Orlando Franklin, whoever's going up against Nada. And then you just got to worry about Ziggy Ansah from that point. Like, I really like, you look at that defense, you look at the linebackers, you look at the corners all the way down, like, they only got 2 guys out of 11 that we got to be worried about. Like, there's honestly a very good chance that this offense scores 35 points in this game. Very good chance. Like the Lions' offense is very talented. Their O-line so-so. I think we got the rushers to get them. And then you look at that Lions secondary, like, who's there to stop them on the passing game? Who is there to match up with Keenan Allen, Stevie Johnson, Green if he plays, John Phillips if he plays, Malcolm Floyd, Jacoby Jones, Dontrell Inman. And then, you get past that front level on the run. Who's going to stop Brandon Oliver, Danny Woodhead coming out the backfield on a pass? Who's going to stop Melvin Gordon if he gets in free game? Melvin Gordon gets one good block going up that right seam. You block out Haloti Ngata, go straight up, get past the linebacker.
Yeah,
Who's going to stop him at that point? Like, you get Melvin Gordon in free space right now, he's gone. You get Brandon Oliver in free space, he's gone.
I want to see Gordon break out. He needs to do it. He needs to get over the hump and just go. And with our running back
right now, if he gets one big hole and he breaks out for 30 yards, that's all you're going to be seeing this guy's career. He's lightning in a bottle when he gets that one block.
Mm-hmm. And with our receiving rotation, to me, each running back is so unique and different. It's hard to kind of have a game plan to stop the run. You know what I mean? Oliver is kind of like the small, speedy guy. You can kind of bounce off people. Woodhead's just a tough, gritty guy that can go and run out and catch a pass and kind of does a little bit of everything really well. And then Gordon, who's a fighter, has potential to break out. So how do you stop that run? I don't know. Good luck stopping that. Honestly.
I look at this defense on paper, and I'm just like, I don't see how they could stop the Chargers at all.
No.
Like, I really don't. Like, it's like I thought about this game, and I thought about, like, what I think about the Lions, what I think about the Chargers, and I was like, it could be pretty close. And then, like, After
You really
watching
look
that
at it.
Patriots-Steelers game last night and seeing the Patriots just eviscerate the Steelers defense because all their big-name guys are gone, like, there's no question that Phillip Rivers is absolutely going to embarrass this Lions defense. No question.
I agree.
And, like, that
You
Lions
see-
defense better toughen up, man, because they got to go out there and play Aaron Rodgers twice a year. Like,
Yeah.
strap up.
And they've got they're running 4-3, so they have 4 D linemen, which
I
like
really
we
think
said,
that plays to our advantage.
I
I
think it
really
does
think
too.
that plays to our advantage because the Chargers on their 3-4, they get a lot more coming out of our linebacking core. And, like, I really think the 4-3 for the Lions hides the deficiencies in their linebacking core, how they don't really have much depth out there.
They
And I really
don't.
think our O-line coming up front, when we get up to that second level, there's no one there to stop our guys at the second level.
And is it Levy or Levi? Levy,
Which
their
one?
linebacker.
It is.
DeAndre Levy.
DeAndre Levy, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
so he's banged up, and so I mean that's one of their starters. He's a question mark in their linebacking core. So that's a big hole, I think, is their linebacking core. They don't have one of their starters possibly. And like we're saying, there aren't any big names or big talent besides, I would say, Nada that could really do damage.
yeah, Nada, and then, like, Ziggy Ansah, he's a young defensive end that we heard about, but, like, he hasn't really measured up to the potential of what he could have been coming out of the draft, so.
And they've been looking forward to this game all offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
This could be fun.
if that offense isn't just licking their chops at, like, what that defense is, like, you gotta be. Because
Yep.
I'm going to be honest with you, I think the Lions defense is going to be one of the worst defenses in the league.
Same.
I
A
think
lot
they're
different from a couple years ago.
I think they're a bottom 3 defense. I really do.
I think the Chargers defense is super underrated right now.
I think so, yeah.
I was
And I
looking
think
at
they'll finish top 10 in the league, like 7 or 8 defense in the league.
I was looking at fantasy football, and they were near the bottom, and I was itching my head.
Yeah, the Chargers defense, as far as fantasy football goes, is like next to the Redskins at the bottom.
I couldn't believe that,
Basically, yeah.
just from knowing the team very well.
I think it's all just a question of health. I think if that defensive unit stays healthy, like, they're going to be very good.
All right, well, maybe we can move on from that offense versus defense matchup talk, and maybe any key matchups we can think of, maybe player to player. That'll be a big factor. We kind of talked about that a little bit, just generally, like D-line going up, our D-line going up against their O-line, but any specific, like, player matchups you think will be key in this game?
Well, first on Calvin Johnson.
Yep.
Huge right there. If you can shut that guy down and contain him to like 7 catches in this game, you're very close to winning this game. Because I think Golden Tate's just going to go hide in the corner out there with Jason Verrett or Patrick Robinson, whichever one's covering him. The other one,
do you think Flowers will be on him or Verrett? Because I think Flowers is going to be on him.
I think Flowers will be on him, yeah. And then I think Golden Tate, as far as that goes, is going to be Verrett or Patrick Robinson, whichever way he lines up, whether he's out of the slot.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, as far as offense goes, I think the big matchup right there is how our run game going in between the tackles matches up against Haloti Nada. I think that's the one to watch.
That's the one to watch.
Can we get in between the tackles, or are we going to have to go pass heavy, and then our running back's going to be Woodhead in there? We get a couple dump offs to him.
If we get the running game going, it's going to be fun because we will definitely pass it around.
Oh my gosh! A touchdown for Stevie Johnson, a touchdown for Keenan Allen, touchdowns for Danny Woodhead. Like, book it up. Just run the board, run the table. A touchdown here, a touchdown there.
Yep. Oliver. Gordon?
Nah,
We'll see.
I'll give Gordon 52 yards on 12 carries.
Okay.
Go with that. I think Woodhead's the guy that's going to get the touchdowns in the red zone. I really do.
But I mean, if there was a defense to break out on, this would be a good one for Gordon.
Yep. No, I definitely agree with you for sure.
All right.
What do you think? What's your key matchup?
Key matchup for that? I think a big one is like our receivers, honestly. Picking apart their defense. They're so like being that's 4-3. You have 4 guys up, 3 in the middle. Picking apart like the mid range of the field could kind of change how the linebackers defend and how the corners defend the run game as well. So I think that if the receivers are doing a good job of opening up the defense, it'll be a field day. Especially with Levy being hurt. And then on our defense going against their offense, taking out Johnson, huge. Also, I think getting up in Stafford's grill a bunch and really making him feel uncomfortable is going to be a big thing too. Not giving him time. Lots of pressure. We saw a preseason
5
game with
sacks.
Exactly.
5 sacks is the number. 5 sacks to watch.
Sacks. The more pressure we can get, the better. And I think we should push our defense, or our team should push each other to have pressure constantly, because it really affects the quarterback and helps the defense be that much better. It would be great to see a handful of sacks going on. So that's really my matchup, is getting pressure on the quarterback, holding down Johnson, and then our receivers picking apart the defense. And then predictions, final. You were saying 35 earlier. What is your final prediction on the score?
28-17.
28-17? Okay.
28-17.
I am going to go with, 30-14. Chargers. I don't know.
Also, one more prediction on there. 3 touchbacks for Josh Lambo. Boot it right out of the end zone. 3 touchbacks.
Down.
Oh, and real quickly, while I'm on that kicker thing, shout out to Nick Novak. Have your agent call the Pittsburgh Steelers, because, oh my gosh, they need a kicker, bro.
I saw that blew up on Twitter.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, call Nick Novak. Call Nick Novak.
Go to Steelers, man.
Novak.
That's the guy you need.
Yeah, but I think we'll see a couple field goals from Lambeau. Hopefully.
Those 33-yard extra points, they're a field goal now.
Oh, man. Oh, NFL. Always trying to find something different to make the game.
What if we went for 2 in this game and just get a little dump off to Woodhead? Just shock everyone.
Again. I'm down for it.
Or like a little quick 2 route to Stevie Johnson on there.
I mean, we've seen that so many times in preseason. People are just going for 2.
Yeah, I really wonder how if it's actually going to happen. The Steelers went for 2 last night and they got it.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to happen a lot. Honestly, it'll happen frequently until everyone gets tired of doing it, and then they might start going for the field goal again.
The Eagles will go for 2 all the time.
Pittsburgh's going to go for 2. Pittsburgh's going for 2 every time.
Pittsburgh, yeah. Until they get Novak.
All right, well, I'm excited for this game. It's going to be the whiteout game, first game of the season. All white everything. It's probably going to be hot. Detroit Lions, San Diego Chargers, Qualcomm Stadium. Can't wait. Any other comments on the game?
Yes, sir. Nope, I think that will do it. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
Maybe just give Weddle a contract so we don't have to wear these beards anymore, or you don't have to wear your beard.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Eli got a contract today. Why can't Weddle get a contract?
Right? I saw that. And it was near Phillips' contract.
Shout out to my boy AJ Green getting his money. Good for him. Proud fantasy owner.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for stopping in at Bull Banter again. Go Chargers. Let's kick those Lions booty. It's going to be a fun season, I think. And I'm excited for this whiteout Sunday, 1 p.m. Qualcomm Stadium. It's going off.
Yep. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, all the social medias.
Definitely.
good
Facebook,
things.
subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We'll be giving live updates during the game on Twitter. So if you want to see that or be a part of that or, be involved in that, definitely do that. Subscribe on our YouTube channel because that's awesome too. We appreciate that. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and go Chargers. Have a good rest of the
Roll
weekend.
Top,
And
San
get ready for
Diego.
Sunday kickoff.
Stay classy. Stay classy.
Later.